Well, thank you all. You've heard a lot about AMD, so I think I'm going to wrap that up today with the last AMD ophthalmology presentation. Now, first of all, before my introduction, what if you could help your AMD, not with an implant, not with going to the doctor, but simply by putting on a pair of glasses? So I'm Jay Cormier, founder and CEO of Idaptic, and we're here to talk about our augmented reality visual aid. So I'm not going to talk too much about AMD. I think we know what that is now, a loss of central vision. Huge unmet need. Of course, AMD is probably one of the largest, but there's many other retinal diseases that we can help as well. And of course, no cure or therapy for most of the AMD. So what do? Let's focus on that. We simulate natural vision. We take the glasses, we capture the image through the center-mounted camera. We then use our proprietary software to process that image in a variety of different ways, and then redisplay that in front of the eyes. And what that does is it allows them to basically optimize the peripheral vision they have left. And with AMD, they always do have some peripheral vision to take advantage of. So we can't help someone that's completely blind, but certainly someone with just central vision loss, we can make a major impact. This is important to realize. This is an FDA Class 1 exempt device, so no clinical trials needed. We have 2 patents granted and 12 more pending on this technology. So although we did not require a clinical study, we did run one anyways because we wanted to show efficacy and basically make sure we were on the right track. And so we did enroll a small study of an N of 20. And that proved statistical significance. We had 2 main endpoints. One was visual acuity. We've heard a lot about visual acuity. Certainly reading an eye chart is the gold standard for visual acuity. The average of our study was 20 over 125 visual acuity. We saw a 3 to 4 letter gain on average, with as many as 8 letters gained in our prototype devices. So that is a doubling of visual acuity just by putting on these glasses. But more importantly, we wanted to show that this would help someone with independent living. So we did have a time task of independent living. We saw a reduction in the time to do those tasks, and most importantly, a 5-time ability to do those tasks with our glasses versus their regular glasses. So really stunning results. That's when we did decide it was time to go to market. I should pause here and say this is very much like the hearing aid market. It is a direct consumer payable. It is not a reimbursement except in places like the VA. VSP insurance does pay for some of it, but it is very much the hearing aid market model. So we price it the same as hearing aids. We know today that hearing aids have similar demographics, similar market size, and that's an $8 billion market. So huge potential. We have 2 main products, one that goes into what I would call the traditional low vision channel, which is over to the right here. This is our premier model. We're actually launching that in just a couple of weeks. We have a partner on that with Vispero, the world leader in low vision aids. So that is a well understood channel, and we have the right partner to penetrate that market. You also heard a little bit about all these people that are not being helped. And so we feel it's very important to reach these people, and the way to do that is through the general optometry channel. And optometrists are used to dispensing glasses, and that's what they're dispensing here. So we have a number of optometry pilots going now. We have our pilot product in those offices, and we're actually coming up to our next product launch for that follow-on product in a few months. So that's our go-to-market model. Certainly the competitive landscape, as you've already heard, is quite complex. We certainly know that a lot of pharma companies are trying to do something about AMD, but even what's in the pipeline at best only slows it down. And this is something that we think is a huge advantage for us because we are in essence a combination therapy. If you can get some benefit from a drug, we can get more on top of that. So one of our biggest investors, a retinal specialist, sat me down one day and said, Jay, you don't understand. You want those drugs to come to market because the people are going to come out of the woodwork. So anyways, we're waiting for that day, but that still seems a bit off. We heard about implantables, et cetera. There's also what I would call non-visual visual aids. So these are like the Orcam, which actually is a character and object recognizer and just speaks in someone's ear. So will help someone that's visually impaired, but it does nothing to help their vision. Of course, we know that there's vitamins that maybe slow it down a little. We also heard about the photomodulation therapy, but really what exists today for the most part is visual aids. And so that's where, again, we had a study to demonstrate about 3 to 4 lines, but what everyone else has done there is really these large head-mounted VR-type devices that are very cumbersome and are certainly not useful in everyday tasks. So that's why we believe we stand alone in the comfort and convenience as well as the visual acuity. In our latest model that's just coming to market, we're already seeing data with an average visual acuity of 6 lines gained. We're seeing people gain 9 or 10 lines just by putting on these glasses, which is just stunning. Very diverse team. We have a strong bench of technologists, including myself with multiple exits. And we also have some very interesting co-founders who are retinal specialists, but before they went on to become doctors, they were engineers and programmers. So they very well understand that bridge between the technology and the medicine. We also have some of the leading retina specialists in the world, like Dr. Cooperman, who's head of the UCI Eye Institute here, as well as some of the top optometrists and low vision specialists who deal with this every day. So we believe by looking at that hearing aid model, knowing what that penetrates, that even a fraction of that penetration can drive us over 100 million to 200 million sales in a few years. We're seeing traction now. We just launched at the beginning of the pandemic. Not the ideal time, but certainly did get revenue traction last year, and we already have surpassed our revenue from the prior year. So we believe this is a very well-proven market model. We brought our product to market, like I said, kind of the beginning of 2020, which is our pilot product. We've raised funds from some of the leading angel groups in the country. Our i3, which we're just launching, has been in beta since the end of last year, and our i4, which is the product I showed here, is going into beta in a few weeks. So with that, I think there's multiple exits available. Again, looking at that hearing aid analogy, I don't know if anyone knows Eargo, but check them out. They went public last year and are now valued at $2 billion. Certainly many acquisitions in the eye care space, and of course the technology space is also very interesting, and Orcam right now is valued at $1 billion actually. So we are raising a bridge round just to get through our launch and start to get traction in revenue before our Series A. And with that, I'd like to thank you and look forward to answering any questions in the breakout room. Thank you.